Hey guys, so I'm just making hopefully a quick video because I've tried to do this before and it was 30 minutes long, trying to make it a little bit quicker. So ignore my hair, not done. We're going swimming later. Anyway, I wanted to talk about a video I posted a few days ago that has gotten people very, very upset. Now, the first thing I want to say is I apologize when I posted that video. What's on other people's minds was not on my mind at all. Never thought of it that way. It was a cute moment with me and my children. I didn't think anybody would even watch it. And if people have said, okay, a person, I'm sure more people have said that I used it as clickbait. Now, the first thing I want to address is I don't do clickbait. I don't like controversy. I don't post offensive things for followers. I don't want followers like that. I'm not all about a following. I just am simply here to share the message that God has given me and the ministry that I have, which is just encouraging women that you can trust God with your womb, that you can rely on Him to give you His blessings in children, and what I believe the Bible says about that. People find that offensive, dangerous, disgusting, and disturbing, and I don't know why. So let me just quickly address what my theology is, because, I mean, if that's the word you want to use, people are saying my theology is messed up. This is what we believe. We believe that all life is from God, that He knows you before He forms you in the womb, that children are a blessing and a gift, and that God is who He says He is, that the Bible is true, and we cannot find anywhere in the Bible that gives us permission to choose to prevent, sterilize, or abort. If that is just dangerous, disgusting, and disturbing, I don't know what to tell you. It's literally in the Bible. But that is what we believe. And so we encourage women and families, not just women, but families, to trust God with however many children He wants to give. Now, I understand that people cannot imagine having 11 children, and it blows their mind, and so they have to find something to say about it. If you haven't had 11 children, I don't feel like you have the right to say it's impossible or that you can't do it, because I used to say that. When I had 5 children, I ran into a woman who I believe had 13, and I was like this. I was completely mind blown, shocked, and I was like, that's impossible. There's no way. Well, look at me now. I had no idea that God had planned a big family for us. We just simply believe that we are to live lives of faith, and that children are eternal, and they're the only eternal thing that we have with us on this earth, and that they have value, lots of value, the most valuable thing we can have or we can contribute. And so that is, we believe it's just a life of faith. The Bible talks about faith all the time, and that is what we believe. So I want to put that out on the table. The other thing I want to talk about is when it comes to clickbait, I will never understand people that have a platform based on degrading other families they've never met. Even if they've met them, that's called clickbait, and it is what it is, okay? I simply will not call people out on my platform. My platform is just to share the messages that the Lord gives me, to share the blessings that He has given us, and to show other women that it is possible to trust God, and it is possible to be joyful and enjoy motherhood and have children that literally are amazing. Okay, so back to why I'm making this video. So there's a video I posted 3 or 4 days ago, and I just want to explain the video. I'm not defending myself. This is my ministry, and so I want to just educate those that clearly probably saw the video and don't know me or don't understand. So just wanted to put this out there. I feel like it is the nice thing to do. Okay, so a few days ago, I posted a video. I was in the hallway of our house and I was playing with my 10-month-old baby. We were like having him walk back and forth, and all my little kids came in and they were all excited, all calling him. They all wanted him to walk to them. And then they started showing me their bellies and how they ate a lot of food and their bellies are big. And I'm talking like my kids are 10 months, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8. And my 9-year-old was in there. So we were all just having so much fun. They were showing me their bellies and talking about how big their bellies were. And I said, if y'all want to see a big belly, let me show you my belly. Now my belly, I have a fat belly. I have extra chub from being pregnant 15 times that I am currently trying to work off. I am not ashamed of saying that I have a chubby belly and that I need to work on it. Now, I'll explain my current situation, I am currently possibly still pregnant with a missed miscarriage baby. I'll get into that after I share with you the mindset behind this video. But my belly is fat because it's fat. I am like pregnant, but not pregnant enough for it to be this fat, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not embarrassed of my fat. I shared the video because my kids saw my stomach and they just died laughing. They were squeezing it like slime and like squishmallows. It was the funniest thing. It was the cutest thing. Their laughter was like literally, I wanted to never forget that moment of them like just finding so much joy in my belly, because as mothers, we sacrifice our bodies to birth our children. And it's a beautiful thing and it's not a disgusting thing. And while I am self-conscious about my stomach simply because everybody calls me pregnant all the time, even when I'm not, it is something that we can laugh about, we can have fun about while we're in the process of working to getting our bodies back to the way we would like them to. So my kids were having a blast. And okay, so my 4-year-old can hit a little bit too hard. Now I say ouch in the video just because that's like her warning, like don't hit that hard. They were not hurting me. They were not hurting anything inside of me. Now my children do not, I've been going through, okay, well first, let me just share this. I did make the mistake in the video of giving a pregnancy update with the video. Now, when me and my children were playing around with my stomach and squeezing it like, all those sensory toys that they have in the store, I simply said, don't go buy those expensive sensory toys. Just give them your belly because they have more fun. It doesn't break or pop. And it never goes away. So it's free. I thought it was so funny and so cute how much fun my kids had with my belly. That's why I shared the video. But the mistake that I made is in the video, I shared a pregnancy update. And my update was I have not fully miscarried the baby, the miscarriage that I found out about a month ago. So I have been carrying this miscarriage for, the dates are all skewed in my head because it feels like forever. Anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. I've been, the baby passed, I believe, 6 weeks ago. But it takes a long time for your body to figure it out. So, backstory of what I'm going through. I am pregnant with my 15th pregnancy, my 4th miscarriage. I found out 6 weeks ago in the ER maybe 7 weeks ago in the ER, that they said there was no baby. I spent a lot of time mourning. I was bleeding from a subchorionic hemorrhage. I mourned this pregnancy for a while. I took a good 2 weeks off, got really close to God, asked all the questions, went through all the things that you process, all the things that you blame yourself for, all the things that you are just confused about. A lot of confusion can come with miscarriage, and you just you want to do things differently or know if you did something wrong. I went through all of those feelings and those things. I then saw an OB who then said there was a baby, but we couldn't find the heartbeat. So I would have been 10 weeks pregnant. The baby was 7 weeks. So I had I'm not sure exactly at what point in my pregnancy the baby passed, but probably at 7 weeks. So the baby had probably been gone for 3 weeks, but she wanted to make sure, so I waited 3 more weeks, went back to the doctor, and at this point, so this would have been 2.5 weeks ago from today that I'm talking. At this point, we saw the baby again, no heartbeat, but the baby was 5.5 weeks. So the baby was starting to disintegrate. So the doctor explained to me that the baby starts to disintegrate because your body, like the hormones and all of that, your body still believes you're pregnant. The body has not recognized that there is a miscarriage, that the baby has not made it. So it takes your body a while for it to figure out that you do not have a viable pregnancy and for it to expel that pregnancy. There are 3 options that doctors give you when this happens. They give you the option of letting your body do what your body does, which your body will expel the pregnancy. Our bodies were made amazing, and it's just amazing what they can do. So you have that option. You have the option of the abortion pill, which puts your body into labor and causes you to miscarry it sooner. And then the third option is the DNC, which is dilate, and I don't know the exact term for it. Honestly, I should, but I don't. But that's where they suction out the pregnancy. I always opt for letting my body do its thing. I have had 3 miscarriages before this. My first one, I had to have an emergency DNC. I had a blighted ovum, which means the baby never formed, and I went all the way until 18 weeks. Super long story short. I ended up having to be hospitalized, had an emergency DNC and 2 blood transfusions. It was a very scary miscarriage. My second miscarriage, I saw the baby at 7 weeks, went back at 9 weeks, and the baby had passed. That one, I chose to let my body do its thing, and I never saw an actual miscarriage. Like, I never bled. Went back literally 9 weeks later, and just to get checked up, and the doctor said that there was nothing in my body. My body was completely healed, that it was as if there was never a pregnancy. Unexplained. We were praying for a resurrection. I believe that's what God did, just not in the way that we were praying. And then the third miscarriage, I found out that I was pregnant, and by the end of that week, I miscarried. And that was just like, all of it came out at once, super quick and over. That one was actually very hard for me to process because I never got to see the baby and I never had closure. The ones where I can see the baby, I actually have the closure of knowing that it was over, or that, that I had fully miscarried, if that makes sense. Just seeing the baby makes it easier. So all of that to say, miscarriage is not cut and dry. It's not black and white. I think people think that you miscarry, it's all gone and it's done, and then you just go on with your life, but you don't. A lot of women have missed miscarriages and blighted ovums where they can go weeks and months still carrying that pregnancy before they pass the baby. And I personally have heard, because this is my ministry, I have heard thousands of testimonies of women who went in and there was no heartbeat, and they had the option to DNC, they chose not to, and weeks later there was a heartbeat. So there is always a possibility that the sonogram gets it wrong. And so I always suggest that we simply don't take matters into our own hands and we just let our bodies do what they do. Now, of course, there are emergency situations. Of course, like I had an emergency situation. I had no other option than to get DNC. There was still a lot of the pregnancy still left inside of me that had not come out, and I had no choice. But at all costs, I say always let your body do what your body was made to do. Don't do any interventions unless an emergency is necessary. I'm not against interventions. I just believe that the healthiest option is always to let your body do what your body was created to do. Okay, so about the video, it got a lot of hate because I put my pregnancy update that I hadn't passed the baby yet. Now, I'm not 1,000% sure like what's going on in my body, because after I had my last appointment, my body did go into labor. I did pass a clot, not very big. It was very painful. It was like an actual labor, but I like don't believe that that was the whole pregnancy. It was not that much. I, I have miscarried a pregnancy this far along. I'm technically anywhere between 16 and 17 weeks right now, and I go back to the doctor in a week next week to find out exactly like if the baby and the sac is still inside. Now the baby was disintegrating, so the baby might be fully disintegrated, and there might still be a sac, but yeah. I go back next week. I am under OB care. I am taking care of myself. I do take supplements. I am aware of my body and if there's any health issues. I'm not carelessly out here doing whatever. So people were saying my children were hitting my dead baby and that the video was insensitive. Now, when I filmed the video, when I posted the video, that was never in my head. When you're hitting someone's belly, especially when the baby is only 6 weeks or when the baby passed at 7 weeks, the baby is like maybe this big. So the baby's gonna be very, very, very low. Now they're hitting the top of my belly. Like that's not even gonna come even kind of close to the baby. My kids don't know that the baby is still inside my stomach. I don't have those gruesome conversations with my little kids. Even my older daughter said yesterday that she had no idea that I hadn't fully miscarried the baby yet. And so that was never in my head. Even if there was like a live, full growing baby, my kids still play with my stomach. They still sometimes hit it too hard. And I have to say, don't hit it that hard. I am not carelessly letting my kids hurt a baby inside of my stomach. They were not, I don't know, like the assumptions people were making is that the kids were like hitting the dead baby and thought it was funny. That's just straight up crazy. I would not do that. They would not do that. That was never in my mind. Never thought that. I realized that it triggered some people and people took it the very wrong way. I mean, I understand that I have a big platform and that people are going to reach for things and try to find anything they can to make me look really bad. But I took the video down. I don't want to trigger people. I don't want people that have gone through miscarriage, stillbirth, and all of that to be upset about it. I took it down. I still don't understand. My mind doesn't go places like that. And if you follow me, you know that I value life, like value life, and that it would be never be anything that I would do. But anyway, I just wanted to like educate people on what miscarriage looks like, on where we stand when it comes to life, our beliefs, trusting God with your family size, miscarriage. I go back to the doctor in a week and we will see if the baby has passed or if the sac is still there. But yeah. Anyway, that is my apology. I apologize. This is my explanation and that's all. Be blessed, guys.